brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome along. Mornings at the Cabin. Friday morning. Where is Jesse? I just can't find him.
All right.
Probably skipping work.
Okay.
You believe that guy? The nerve.
Okay. That's enough.
Do you have something you'd like to say, Lecter?
Go on.
Well, I said it yesterday morning.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear it. We missed it.
You said a lot of things yesterday morning.
I did say a lot of things yesterday morning. I would like to apologize to Jesse for completely forgetting that he was taking yesterday and today off. Not before dedicating an entire 2 breaks of the morning show to shaming him for being late on a day when he was not late.
I appreciate the detail in the apology.
Yeah.
The funny thing is the sheer number of breakfasts that Jesse now has as a result of this. So we deal in breakfasts here at Mornings at the Cabin. When an error or a transgression is committed, we always pay in breakfast.
Yes.
I had already promised him one yesterday morning because I forgot to tell him that we were all going to be out at in the middle of nowhere filming all day, and he's going to be left on his own. So I sent him a message at 6:30 saying, "I'm really sorry, I owe you a breakfast." I didn't know that he wasn't supposed to be in anyway.
Is that all you said? I just owe you a breakfast? You didn't explain what was going on?
No, I told him.
Okay.
I told him what was going on. I said, "I owe you a breakfast." And then, Lecter, you separately apologized to him for saying that he should have been in when he shouldn't have been in, and now you owe him a breakfast.
Yeah.
So he had a 2 breakfast morning yesterday.
You know, there was lots to talk about yesterday, but I decided to just waste an entire 2 breaks, half of a morning show, shaming a guy for being late who was actually on vacation.
Well, it's all right.
What a great morning show host I am, huh?
Now we've done a 5th of a morning show, extending it into Friday. Morning, everybody.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Friday mornings at the Cabin. It is Ollie in the hot seat for the first time in a very long time. 7:12 in the morning. No idea what temperature it is. It's still broken. AJ has not put a thermometer outside the window. Looks like it's about 11 degrees, but it is very nice, and it'll probably warm up to, around 23 degrees with a chance of showers and a thunderstorm later on in the afternoon. More about that in the forecast coming up. Morning, everybody. How are we doing?
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hello, Sarah.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Pan, how are you? Good.
She's exhausted. She doesn't understand why I keep making her leave the house every day.
I feel the
so
same
many
way.
Adventures.
I feel exactly the same way. Yesterday we had another adventure, all of us. We were out at Cameron Falls. I think we can go into some detail at this point. You know, everything is in the bag.
Yeah.
The ducks are back in the bag.
Most of the ducks.
We can let the ducks out of the bag on the air.
Well, I'm going to have to. I got to organize them.
Okay, so we may or may not have sent 1,500 ducks. Well, we didn't send them all over the waterfall, but we certainly gave them all a ride yesterday. It turns out, AJ, maybe I'll come to you on this. I feel like you are the expert in this. It turns out that taking 1,500 ducks along the trail to Cameron Falls is quite a long way.
Yeah, it seems like an achievable thing, but it's not.
No, it's not, is it?
No, they're much heavier than you'd think. Yeah, the box with 400, that was the killer. The bags of 100, I don't know about you guys, I found those quite manageable.
Until they started ripping. Ducks everywhere.
Oh, they started busting out the bottom. Escapees. But yes, the totes with 400 ducks, that was a nightmare.
Who would have thought that 400 rubber ducks would weigh that much?
Yeah, you just don't think about the weight. I guess you don't think about a lot of things when it comes to rubber ducks.
You know,
I haven't put a lot of thought into rubber ducks.
Now that we've done this once, now that we have one time in our lives tried to send many hundreds of rubber ducks over a waterfall in the name of charity.
Will never do it again.
Well, that's
Now that we've done it once.
Steady. We may do it again. I think by this time next year, you will all have forgotten the sheer physical exertion involved in that. And you'll be like, yeah, what a great idea that was. That worked so well last year.
Well, maybe not AJ, because there was a lot beyond the just carrying ducks in.
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We need to set the scene a little bit more. So people who don't know what was going on, Canadian Tire has a duck race annually. AJ, if you're going to choose 2 words to describe last year's duck race itself, what would you choose?
Lackluster.
Okay. It's one word, but you know what?
I mean, it could be split
we'll roll
into
with
2,
it.
though.
Yeah.
I split it into 2. I personally prefer to have them as 2 words.
What a versatile choice.
The ducks were lacking, and you had some luster for a better race. There we go. Okay. So
that's what I meant.
So, yeah, last year's duck race was on the Yellowknife River, and the ducks just weren't into it. And so this year, with the whole COVID-19 thing, the Canadian Tire couldn't do their whole duck race the way they normally do. They couldn't have a big party there and everything. So we phoned Canadian Tire. I had a bright idea. Good old me. And phoned Canadian Tire and said, how about, seeing as you can't have an audience for this one this year, We were still in phase 1 at the time. How about we take the ducks and we send them over the Cameron Falls and we video it and we turn it into a broadcast extravaganza? And they loved it. They loved that idea, primarily because they didn't have to do it, and it sounded great. And I thought it sounded great. AJ, you and I went out there to Cameron Falls. We scouted it out. You thought it sounded great.
I know. Admittedly, I did think it sounded great.
It's the one duck we threw over the falls.
I had a backpack of like 30 ducks.
Yeah.
But we only did one.
We only tested one.
We only tested one, but it went reasonably well.
But even carrying 30 ducks in on the backpack, I didn't even notice they were there.
Yeah, 30 ducks, fine. 1,500 ducks, tricky. So we decided we would do this. We would do this filming on behalf of Canadian Tire. They have raised thousands and thousands of dollars for charity. So let's all remember that this weekend.
More than last year.
When we're unable to move.
There's 1,000 ducks last year.
Yeah?
Yeah, and
so
they bumped it up to 1,500.
Well, that's amazing. Look at that. You see, we've already raised even more money for charity, even though none of us can walk or lift anything ever again. So we got all the ducks down there, and I mean, there's a lot to be said. Penny is so tired that I just heard her lie down. Like, I just heard the
She put in
Penny
a
lying down.
She put in a lot of work yesterday.
Penny was a trooper yesterday. We've got a lot to discuss about this. It is absolutely true. There is a lot going on. Suffice to say, though, that AJ, you spent a lot of time in the water yesterday corralling hundreds of rubber ducks.
Corralling is the perfect word. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
I have never seen anyone do the egg beater kick as long as you did it.
Well, thank you.
Like, there are professional water polo players who would have been absolutely swept away with desire watching that egg beater kick for like 15, 20 minutes while slowly pushing ducks toward the waiting sort of people with fishing nets on the side, and then even lobbing ducks to me one by one to get, because we were running 300 duck heats at a time. And those ducks, when they cross the finish line, they're in no hurry to leave.
No.
You know, they're not like swimmers where they hop right back out of the pool and they go back to the green room. No, these swimmers, you know, these ducks, they just hung out.
Yeah.
AJ will come get us.
Waiting to be saved. Kind of prima donnas, really. They could have easily just swam to the edge, but
very much like me at the end of any swimming race. I am just going to wait here and await rescue.
Yeah.
Like, someone is going to come for me. It'll be fine.
Why are they swimming in the first place? They're ducks.
When I got out there a little bit later than the rest of you, and you had already had a little bit of excitement trying to figure out the logistics of how everything was going to work, and then I saw that AJ was going to be spending pretty much the entirety of his day jumping in and out of the water, treading water, saving ducks, I said to Kevin at one point, I was like, I've never been happier to not be the designated athletic guy in this cabin radio crew. This is a great moment. I could just sit back, watch AJ, just take care of business. Not a care in the world.
I have worked very hard to not be the designated athletic guy in this business. I have put a lot of time and effort and eating into that. And it's paying off.
I tried. Stupid metabolism.
Yep. It'll betray you every single time.
Yeah. Stupid gym appearances.
Yep.
Regular exercise. God, what was I thinking?
That's where you're going wrong.
Cabin Radio's Morning Show Podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
Ollie, Lecter, AJ, and Sarah with you. We're all recovering after sending 1,500 ducks down the river toward the Cameron Falls yesterday in the name of charity on behalf of Canadian Tire. You will get to see the full broadcast of extreme duck racing coming up in just over a week's time, day by day on Facebook. It's going to be a week-long event. You're going to be able to track your duck from the heats all the way through to the semi-finals and then the final. Well, I say, like, you'll be able to track your duck. As long as it's one of the 25 ducks that made it out the heats, you're going to be able to track it. If it's one of the 1,475 ducks that didn't, then you're going to have a very brief experience of enjoying extreme duck racing, and then that'll be the end of that. Because, you know, not every duck is a winner, but there were some ducks that performed incredibly well, and you'll get to find that out in, like I say, just over a week's time. Now, Sarah, in amongst all of this, you performed many and varied roles. You were part of the duck starting crew at one point. You were also on duck rescue duty.
Yep.
Where did you feel most fulfilled yesterday? Where do you think your calling truly lies in the world of extreme duck racing?
You know, once I finally got in the water and helped fetch some ducks alongside Penny and AJ, then I felt like I was actually doing something.
Yeah, Penny was good at fetching ducks. The only issue with Penny fetching ducks was that occasionally she did so mid-race.
Yes, that was problematic, but funny.
Unprompted fetching.
Yeah, we would be filming the race, and the ducks would be hurtling toward the finish line, and then...
And Penny would be sitting on the rocks crying, watching them like tumble over the cliff.
Yeah, And then she'd just jump off, swim around the back, and start picking off the stragglers. Now, I'm just saying...
They weren't going to win anyways. They were at the end.
If you imagine the Olympics and the marathon is being held, and somebody lets loose a velociraptor at the back of the pack, I think that would certainly give the stragglers some reason to pick up the pace slightly. If you knew that roughly 20 minutes into the race, a dinosaur would pick off one of the athletes, you would start to see some world records being set.
And I would definitely watch more often.
Yeah, I think I'd make more of a priority of it, quite frankly.
So we're going to leave the dog in the edit.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's extreme duck racing.
Yeah.
You got to
Anything
have
can happen.
obstacles.
An eagle could have come down and swooped you away.
You need a bit of unpredictability.
My favorite part was when Penny would discard one duck and you'd be like, oh, the duck lives, and then promptly kill another one and take that one instead.
And Canadian Tire, if you're listening, she did not puncture any ducks. She was very gentle with them.
No, she was a very gentle killer.
Yeah, she didn't sink any ducks.
Yeah, no, she did not sink any ducks, but she certainly sank some chances of winning.
She didn't totally discriminate either, because there were some times when there was a duck that was straggling, she would go back, grab it, bring it back to the middle of the pack, and then pluck another duck out of the middle of the pack and bring it back elsewhere. So you really couldn't predict what she was going to do. She was just factoring in some way, and it was great.
Penny, chaotic neutral when it comes to messing with a duck race. So the duck race, I think, broadly speaking, now admittedly, my initial draft of this, my initial plan called for 78 races to take place yesterday.
That's some classic idea guy stuff right there.
Yeah. Now we eventually got away with 9. I feel like it worked out.
I think so, yeah.
I feel like it worked out.
Pretty happy about the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
70, can you imagine? We'd still be there now.
Well, if the initial, we had to change the course a little bit because we got down there and the water was pretty. Those ducks were hurtling in the test races.
A waterfall. Imagine that.
I know.
Who would have guessed?
When we went there a month ago or whenever it was I think it was calmer than that.
You mean when there was still ice on it?
The water's gone up. The water went up a bit.
Okay, right. So we've established the waterfalls run faster when they're not frozen over.
Listen,
thanks.
Cameron Falls is looking healthy this year, too.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, those falls are crashing down.
Yep. It was great fun being the camera operator directly above the falls. And you'd see the ducks, they'd come round the chicane, they'd start barreling toward the falls, and there were some great races. Yeah, there are one or two sort of walkover races where one duck just had it under control from start to finish.
Yeah.
But there were some great races where 4 or 5 ducks would be bunched in a pack and they'd come round and they'd bob toward the falls and you'd gradually pan out in the cum with duck. Then they go over the fall and in, and you just lose them completely in this whitewater maelstrom. And every now and again, every 5 seconds, a duck would appear and go, ah! Gasp for breath, and then plunge back into the melee. And then he'd eventually, I just leave the camera pointing at the waterfall and shrug to nobody in particular, because you couldn't, there's a duck in there somewhere. And then eventually one would just go boom out the end and just dizzily sort of make its way staggering toward the finish line at the bottom. And then one duck sadly went boom out the waterfall and just landed on a rock in the middle of nowhere. It was stranded just when that duck thought that it was going to have a chance of winning. I'll tell you, it's the greatest sporting action I've seen this summer. There's not a whole lot to shout about right now in the world of sports. And I think we're about to deliver.
Yeah, there's been a lot of noise about marble racing in the wake of COVID-19.
Just going to bring that up.
I think we topped it. I think marble racing is going to be a thing of the past. It's going to be extreme duck racing.
I think it comes down to the dubbing, the commentary.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we've got a guy.
We got a guy. Yeah.
We're going to be okay on the play-by-play. Okay, you guys look forward to this. Like I say, it's going to take us just over a week to put all of this together. From Monday, the 13th of July onward, you will get to see the full week-long extravaganza that is Cabin Radio's Extreme Duck Racing.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Still no Wheeler. We can't find him. He's skipping work again. But Lecter's here.
Yeah, I am here, yeah.
Yeah, you're still here. That's good. You know, I mean, you were threatening to go away all week or do whatever else again. You didn't, so it's great. You turned up for extra work this week.
Threatening?
Well, some would say booking annual leave. Others would say threatening.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I retracted my threats.
Yeah.
And Jesse quietly made his threat and made good on it.
Yeah.
I hope he's enjoying his day off after being berated by me for the better part of the morning show yesterday for absolutely no reason.
He's fine. Some of us book leave, some of us threaten leave, some of us just don't turn up.
I sent Walter White to break his door down and everything.
I heard that.
I took it a bit far, I have to say.
Wait, Walter White, he's real?
Yeah, Breaking Bad, yeah. He's still alive, too.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
I don't know if you remember the finale. Spoiler alert for anyone else.
Yeah, I was
going to
say that's unfortunate.
But he's still alive. Yeah.
Okay.
Does he still have this Malcolm? Is that still his son?
Malcolm.
Malcolm
No. Oh,
He's the
that
middle
son.
child?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Dewey and Francis.
That was the prequel, right?
Yeah. We're getting deep now.
The look that Sarah is giving me, who is just not following this.
Who are these people?
This
Malcolm in the
TV
middle?
exploration.
Reese, that was the other one.
Reese.
Okay.
Yeah.
The delinquent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Sarah, have you heard of Bryan Cranston?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
that
that's
explains why we're confused.
So you've never seen Breaking Bad?
No, I maybe watched like the first episode in university, like in undergrad.
Malcolm in the Middle, though? You've seen Malcolm in the Middle.
No.
No.
I didn't watch TV as a kid.
Ah.
I didn't watch TV growing up.
Frankie Muniz?
No.
Little Frankie? That's
No.
all he's got, Sarah.
Nope.
Come on, help him out.
Yeah.
Wow, you do one thing in your whole career, and Sarah hasn't even gone near it.
It's like, what's the point?
So is this someone who's been in both shows?
Yes.
Oh, my. Go to a song. go to a song.
You know what? I'll do better. I'll play for you the noise of Sarah in this conversation.
Oh, my God.
I don't even have headphones on and I can hear that. This is Ollie's truck.
Is that her teeth grinding?
Oh. Why would you put people through that?
So that was the sound of my truck yesterday.
Wow.
Oh,
That
I was
was-
aware.
That was my truck when we got back from the duck racing. About a kilometer outside Yellowknife, just coming back on the Ingram Trail.
You see, we weren't kidding about how heavy these ducks were.
It started making that noise.
That was the hitch dragging on the ground.
Yeah. Some people would maybe not have gone through a McDonald's drive-through with their truck sounding like that, but Sarah was in the passenger seat and really wanted an iced coffee. And you learn eventually that
You didn't have to say yes.
No, you learn eventually that you do have to say yes.
I just assumed that was a throwing under the bus. I didn't want to be in the McDonald's drive-thru. I didn't think it was a priority, but Sarah really wanted it.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
essentially
Iced
Wait, hold
coffee.
on. So you didn't order food?
might have done.
No, okay.
Well, while you're there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to drag me kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
So
I had 2 full meals.
we ended up in the drive-thru. You were in the truck on our left.
Yep.
And we windows down, just having a chat, and then the noise.
Oh,
That noise occurred. And I don't even know
Bad.
that recording does that justice.
I
that's
don't
what
know.
it felt like.
Does
Inner
it?
ear. That's what I heard. Inner ear. Right in the middle of my brain. That's what I heard.
Wow.
It was horrible. Also hilarious.
How did you get an order through?
Well,
Well, you stop. You
Oh,
don't-
yeah, fair.
That's not how drive-thrus work.
Right,
You don't
right.
go through 60 kilometers an hour. Quarter pounder with fries and Coke and a flurry.
Yeah,
you
that'd
have
be
to
an-
drive around 4 times if you've got 4 different things you need to order because you just don't have the time in one breath.
Well, that was kind of what the guy who used to work at Tim Hortons.
Fong.
Yeah. I think that was kind of what it was like with
Yeah,
him.
and then you
Yeah,
have to
you
drive
barely
by
stopped.
again. He'd throw your change through the window. God, he was efficient.
If you stopped, you got in trouble.
I'd hire that guy in a heartbeat. Most efficient worker I've ever seen in my life.
So no, we made it through the drive-thru, nursed the truck home last night, making this horrible grinding all the way back home. This morning, not a peep. Took it
Really?
to work this morning, not a sound out of that truck. So
Well, good night's rest.
yeah, I mean
Did
that's
it
how. I
good.
mean, in fairness, that is how I felt.
Yeah.
I mean, I was making grinding noises as well by the time I got in this morning. Slightly fewer, still some, slightly
Yeah.
fewer grinding noises
Yeah.
when I got this morning. I could feel. I got a little bit sunburned yesterday. I can feel like heat radiating off my face
Right.
from this whole duck shenanigans. But yeah, the truck seems to have cured itself overnight. So,
AJ and I were discussing the perils of ginger skin
Oh,
yesterday.
I get hit hard.
It was cloudy all day,
Raining.
rainy.
It was raining most of the day.
And-
I am burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, how's your back doing?
My back is red and freckly. Real red, real freckly.
Sarah's now testing herself for sunburn. What's the conclusion, Doc?
I don't know. I feel I was definitely burned last night, but I think, is it gone? Do I look better now?
Doesn't look too burny.
What, in like 12 hours it just goes away?
Yeah.
Not this guy over here. No.
Now I'm just tanned. I think.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I've heard that story.
I feel like you're darker than I am.
Because I'm just like, it's a dark red.
Just freckles.
This will just go back to white.
Just peel and go back to white.
Yeah, I'll shed a layer.
Yeah.
I'll be back to my original self.
I do feel as though my whole face is just going to peel off in one go in about 4 or 5 days' time.
You don't look too bad either. You don't look too sunburned. You just look nicely
Yeah,
colored.
last night I looked and you could see, if you look at my hairline, that is like full on. I think what has happened is now I look like an ordinary human being instead of my usual like Pantone pure white shade that my face is. So if you look at my hairline, it's still absolutely bright white, and then just the rest of it is like a human shade of pink. So just gradually normalizing.
Yeah,
coming out of my wintry hole.
It's probably my first outing in a while, spending extended time outside, where I actually didn't get sunburned. Didn't have to swim like AJ. My ankle is just a bloodbath of scratched mosquito bites, though. Right now, like, oh man,
they were bad.
Oh, it's disgusting. I wondered whether or not I should even put socks on, because like, is this a mistake? Am I going to ruin a sock here?
On the way back, when whatever you're carrying hit that bush, and you could just see an army of mosquitoes swarm you instantly. Oh, it was a nightmare of a day.
Definitely the height of bug season out there. But you know what? Interestingly, if we hadn't been there would have been literally no visitor to Cameron Falls in the height of July for the whole day.
Because it was raining.
We were the only people there.
Yeah, it was
in the afternoon. It was pretty nice.
Just as we were
leaving.
Yeah.
So there could have been people that came in the evening.
I suppose.
We don't know.
But yeah, it was interesting to me that from about 7:45 until 5:36ish, not a soul came and visited us down
Which was
at
a
Cameron
bonus.
Falls.
Imagine trying to explain what we were doing.
Well, yeah, it would have been a little bit difficult. So explain for us, why are those teenagers on those cliffs? Why is that guy swimming in the water? Why are those guys just standing around? Why is there a dog chasing ducks? Like, there's a lot going on here. Please explain. And also, why do you have cameras set up over there, but you're filming up? There was a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I feel like most on site would have figured it out pretty soon. Oh, it's extreme duck racing. Clearly, that's what they're doing.
Cabin radio. They're doing some nonsense.
That's what they're going to regret later.
This will show up on Facebook sooner or later. Yeah.
We'll just tune in tomorrow morning, hear all about it.
Yep. So now you know. We race ducks over a waterfall.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
So we've done the whole duck racing thing, which I just about survived. And the day before that, an equally arduous episode of physical endurance, going down to Fort Providence and playing the new 9-hole golf course. I say new, it's about what, Sarah, a year old?
Yes, yeah, I believe I first wrote about it last June or July.
Okay, so Fort Providence has a golf course. Danny Bolio, the mayor of Fort Providence, got a hold of some land somehow. And
I think it's also important to note that Danny is not a golfer and doesn't really know much about golf. He told me this last year. But he thought, what would be nice for our community? A golf course. So I'm just gonna wing it.
I know nothing about it, but what's there to know? Grass, hole, good.
Actually, when I was interviewing him last year, we were chatting about this golf course that he was developing, and he kept talking about freeways the whole time, and I also don't golf.
Freeway.
And I was like, oh, yep, sure, freeway. So in the story, throughout the story I was writing, and the freeways here, the freeways there. All he edits the story, he's like, I think you mean fairways.
So even Dan... that's remarkable
man.
that he's just going to up and build a golf course and he knows nothing about it.
People every now and again say to me, Ollie, you could just take a step back. Like, you've got some great journalists. They could just look after the shop themselves. Like, they don't need you to edit everything. And then you get moments like...
Any sports story I just cannot do.
You get moments where Sarah has written the word freeway instead of fairway all the way down a golf article.
You could have kept it as is. Just put, what are they?
Inverted commas?
Yes,
Speech
thank
marks?
you. Yep,
Yeah.
around each word. Just so you're like, freeway.
You just make it down the freeway, and then you knock the ball into the gap with your tapper. That's how golf works, right?
That's exactly how I would have written that story.
That is precisely Sarah's understanding of how golf works.
Well, then everyone would have understood it.
Yes, plain language, Ollie.
You're ostracizing people if you're using golf lingo.
We don't understand.
I see. Yes, you're right. Freeways would have made that much more understandable
The
for
only
so many more
argument
people.
against that is, that most people understand.
Yeah. What a fairway is? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But okay.
But other than that, layman's terms all the way. I agree.
Got to the golf course on Wednesday, and they had this little tournament, 1:00 in the afternoon. So I got into Fort Providence, had a little loop around the community, couldn't find the golf course.
I was going to say, if someone didn't point to it and say that's a golf course, would you have known it was a golf course?
It had like little flags on it.
Okay.
Like, if you take the flags out, and you'd taken the tee boxes away, it would do quite a good job of camouflaging itself in. But what you have to remember is when you get to this golf course, it does not look like your average golf course. Sure. The fairways are not overly fair.
The freeways.
They are, however, free. They are, however, free. It was free to enter, so they were freeways.
Right. Well paved.
And it would have been helpful if they were.
What was the traffic like?
So the greens are not. There is nothing distinguishing the green from any of the other terrain around it, other than the fact that the hole has been dug into it. And one of those plastic, the plastic golf holes.
So like in golf, like I thought the green was just like the whole course. Oh. Is the green like a specific part of
was Sarah writing this story?
Why do you ever make me write sports stories? Is this can I not have to write?
I'm sorry, is that a real question?
Are you genuinely asking what the green is?
Yeah, I thought it was just like a overarching like term for like the
golf gridiron, course. Like the football field is the gridiron. You thought the golf course.
Don't confuse it. Now she's wondering what a gridiron is.
What's a gridiron?
Oh my goodness!
It's a golf pitch, is it not?
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so the green is like the extra green part closer to the hole?
Yeah.
That's a great way to describe it.
I mean, it might just be as green as everywhere else.
But it's like the grass. What distinguishes it? Isn't there like a circle around it? How do they make the circle?
Okay. It's the really close cut grass that is next to the hole.
Yeah.
So it's really smooth surface so that you can putt the ball on it.
You know the part on the Yellowknife golf course that actually resembles grass?
No.
Oh. Well, never mind.
I've never been there.
All right.
There is clearly
another setback.
There is a video to be made here in which we take Sarah golfing at the Yellowknife golf course.
And we tell her nothing. We say, okay, you just do whatever feels comfortable to you.
And name things what you think they should be called.
Yeah. What logically makes sense here?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have a potato cannon with you?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, sorry, Ollie. So something about the greens.
Yeah,
the lack of greens.
They have these golf holes. That some golf courses will sink a little like plasticky metal kind of hole into the hole that they've dug to keep its dimensions and everything. So just those sort of like lobbed into the ground at various stages. But they don't quite fit exactly. So often the lip of the hole would be about an inch above the actual surface around it.
That's challenging.
Like putting isn't hard enough.
Quite challenging to get the ball into that thing.
So that's mini golf
without a small ramp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Sarah.
I have done mini golf.
Putting is the really shorter. It's the shorter club, and it's got a bit of an L at the bottom, and you use it to do the really short stuff.
Have you ever done mini putt?
Yes, once. So my friends and I went to this campsite called Rushing River.
Okay.
And about a kilometer down the road from the campsite, you could like walk down the highway and you could go get ice cream at this little like gas station.
Right.
And they had a mini putt beside the gas station. So we decided we'd do mini putt. But it was a very weathered course that like clearly had not been like covered up in the winter or anything. So it was like rolling like little hills of covered in leaves and twigs and everything.
Okay, so you might be well equipped for the Fort Providence golf course.
Like literally it took us like 80 tries to get this one ball in like this very small area into the hole. We counted. That was like
you played one hole
2,
and
3,
that was
4.
good.
Yeah, because it just like kept rolling up and down and up and down and like would not go in the hole.
And then drove home. Camping was done.
That's the scene right out of Happy Gilmore.
Then we probably went
there
or something more enjoyable.
You got to go to your happy place.
That's right. That's what you had to do.
It's all in the hips. That's what they say.
I have mini golf that one time.
Okay.
I don't think that was like a typical mini golf experience though, because it was a very.
That sounds pretty typical.
Yeah, it sounds very bang on. Actually.
Especially the rundownness of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty typical mini golf stuff.
Yeah.
Never mind then. I had mini golf. I also went to the driving range once with my dad. And I played best ball once when I first moved to Fort Smith, and I was terrible at it.
And how does best ball work?
The person who has the ball closest to the hole, that's where everyone else gets to hit the ball from the next time.
It's also known as a Texas Scramble.
Okay, now I've learned something.
There you go.
I didn't know that.
My ball was never the best.
You understood what was going on. That's the important part.
An advantage of best ball is that you can be genuinely terrible at golf and still get a chance to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so you have some golf knowledge. That's good. You don't really need that much to play the Fort Prov course. So the thing about the Fort Prov course is, it doesn't look that much like an ordinary golf course. It is pretty blooming challenging, to say the least. You can play a beautiful drive down the fairway, and it'll just hit a rock and end up 100 yards to the left in the middle of deep brush.
Love it.
And when Ollie was first telling me this, I was like, do they not usually have rocks on golf courses? Like they've got like ponds and ditches, rocks just seem like they should be another obstacle.
Not generally in the middle of fairways. Usually the point of the fairway is that's the safe spot to hit the ball, and you don't want to punish a golfer too much. You always want to give a golfer
encouragement.
Yeah, somewhere to put the ball that is the
fragile.
right place.
That's right.
Yeah.
They do get very angry.
But what I'm trying to say is that when you actually look at what Danny was working with originally, he's done incredible work because that place was just thick brush.
Right.
And actually the work involved to carve 9 holes out of that thing
Right.
is really, really impressive. And he's had a bit of help from the bison.
Of
So
course,
there's
yeah.
some great photos
They're
of,
always willing to
of the
help.
bison
Yeah.
mowing the grass for him.
Yeah.
Notorious golfers.
Yeah,
Bison
absolutely.
love golf.
There are a couple of places where you have to take a drop from bison hoof prints
Oh, lovely.
because they're
Yeah.
in the middle of the fairway. And,
Yeah.
and
Sorry,
you
take
just-
a drop.
Okay. So that means pick up the ball, and then you're allowed like 1 club length away to drop the ball again where you're back out of danger. Like if for certain
At any
rules.
time?
No, only if there's certain obstacles.
Yeah.
You should
Otherwise,
just-
you play it where it lies.
Oh, okay.
You should fill the hoof prints in with sand. They'd be tiny little bunkers.
That would be adorable. That's a great idea. I love that. Oh, you're in a tiny 2-inch square bunker that you're now going to have to play out of.
Yeah, put 250 mils of water. Water feature.
Yeah, nice. I
That
like
should be
that.
bonus points for hitting that little confined space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no bonus points in golf.
just
though.
use the hoop
bonus
prints as the holes for
removed
the ball to-
points. Yeah.
Flags.
Don't add rules. Sarah's confused
Okay.
enough as it is.
Okay.
There are no
Okay.
bonus points in golf.
Bonus points?
Nope.
I
there are
love
no
bonus points.
Well,
See what
Just
you've
you
done?
mean high school.
You got her hopes up.
Bonus points. Everything.
I mean, if you play Stableford, then
What?
okay, never mind.
I
You
don't
know what?
even know what that is.
You know what? This has been Mornings at the Cabin. It's been an absolute pleasure joining you. We'll just go to some news. Sarah will never be allowed to write a golf story again, but we are going to take you to Yellowknife Golf Course.
Oh, I want to go to the Fort Prov one.
We'll take you there as well. Okay.
You got to work your way up.
And there's
That
one in Simpson, and there's one in Hay River. We're going to do the full tour.
I heard
there's
the
one in
Norman-
Lahaktuk.
I heard at the Norman Wells one, the foxes will come out and steal your balls.
Oh yeah.
Like when
Oh,
you hit
right.
them, they'll like
Yeah.
run out and like grab them and like instead, but they don't really fetch them. They just take them away.
Okay.
I had a friend that lived there for a second.
Well, that's been a lot of fun golf facts from you
Yeah.
today, Sarah. A lot of fun facts.
For someone who doesn't know the difference between a freeway and a fairway, there are a lot of golf facts. Okay.
I'm overwhelmed. Okay, goodbye.
Everybody, goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.